Donald Trump's State of the Union address, that televised spectacle of him telling us the usual lies and airing the usual grievances, happens tomorrow, but the Democrats have a trick up their sleeve to humiliate him. I have the latest details on that, including their own words explaining the significance of dishonoring the Donald, coming up next. I'm Dan, and thank you for watching another Occupy Democrats video. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for all of our reports on the dishonorable Donald Trump and those who dare to denounce him through whatever means possible. Let's begin with ABC's John Carl and Bloomberg's Abby McCloskey setting the stage for what's to come, and then I'll have the wrath of the defiant Democrats.
Hey, greetings from the U.S. Capitol, where Donald Trump is going to give his State of the Union address tomorrow. It is going to be an unusual speech just in terms of the atmospherics. Two big things to watch. One, how many Democrats skipped the speech? I know of at least a dozen who have said that they are not going to be there. Democrats who I've spoken to think that the number could be as high as 50 to 100 decide that they are going to boycott Donald Trump's State of the Union address. Regardless what the number is, those seats, the empty seats that would result, cannot be filled by anybody but a member of Congress. So we could have the unusual circumstance of seeing empty seats on the House floor for the State of the Union address. I've never seen that. The other thing is the Supreme Court. Members of the Supreme Court, of course, sit down right in front. They don't always all go. Usually at least a couple don't show up. But Donald Trump has just attacked them in very personal terms. And they will be at a speech where, by tradition, they don't react. They don't applaud. They don't boo. They stand there. They sit there and listen to the speech. Finally, members of the U.S. hockey team are going to be there. Donald Trump has invited both the men's team and the women's team, winners of the gold medal, to be there. They're still trying to figure out where they're going to sit, but they can't sit in the seats for members of Congress.
What Trump doesn't say in his State of the Union speech will be the most telling. This one is coming at an incredibly fragile time. Most people don't like the direction the country is headed, and President Trump himself is fragile politically. Trump is going to use his State of the Union, as many presidents do, as a victory lap. So he'll talk about his successes, about how the stock market is hot, unemployment is low, crime is down. Trump is unlikely to talk about what we saw in Minnesota, which was federal agents going into neighborhoods, into schools, churches, workplaces, rounding people up, into the violence we saw that happened at the protests. It's one thing to talk about a secure border, but most people disapprove of his actions around immigration inside the country. Lastly, Trump is unlikely to talk about the division that we're seeing in this country that most Americans don't like. And if anything, his administration is exacerbating that. It's pushing away, whether it's the media or universities or allies, certainly the other political party. What Trump doesn't say pushes people away further. It makes him seem disconnected, and it makes ordinary Americans feel like he doesn't actually understand what's going on the ground.
What I'm wondering is, will Trump address the elephant in the room? And by that, I mean all the empty seats as a result of Democrats leaving the room. Let's have a listen to their plan to push back by pushing away from the event.
This year, I've decided I will not attend the State of the Union address. Every year since I've been in Congress, I've gone, I've considered it part of my job. I've considered it a way to respect the office of the president, even if I disagreed with him, as I did in the first Trump administration. But this year is different. And I think the way to do my job this year is not to go, because President Trump has shown a disregard for Congress and a disregard for his own office. The way he's not observed our powers of the purse, not following our spending directions through the budget, imposing tariffs without congressional approval, taking acts of war without a congressional approval. It's wrong, and I think it has to be called out. And the way he's abused his own office. He's made over $1 billion in personal money off of the office. He's sold pardons for favors to his friends, and he has militarized our cities against us. It's just not right, and I won't be insulted by sitting there listening to it. I'll find out what he said later. And for those who choose to go, that's fine. I don't criticize them at all. I'm not calling for a boycott. This is just the way I see it this time. I've always gone, but this year it's not for me.
Well, I just want to tell you, so you hear from me, that I am not going to State of the Union. Look, there's more productive things I could be doing with my time than just sitting there for 2 hours and clapping on cue. Right now, this country is hurting. You know, whether it's what's happening in Minnesota, whether it's our families that are just trying to make every dollar stretch longer, whether it's veterans, trying to make sure that their benefits aren't being cut by this administration. There's a lot of work to be done, and it's not going to happen in that chamber for 2 hours when the president's just going to be using, that bully pulpit as a way to just, push further and further his agenda. So I'll be spending the time working for Arizona, spending time with my family, and look forward to continue really fighting to make sure that Americans have a chance at the American dream. Thanks.
I will not be attending the State of the Union, and an overwhelming majority of my constituents are backing me up on this one. Here's why. It's because of what Trump has done to our country, our civil rights, and our democracy. So we cannot treat this as a normal moment. We cannot continue on with business as usual while our democracy is under attack by a president who thinks he's above the law. And then on top of that, he has signed legislation that will result in thousands of people in our district losing their health care and nutrition benefits. So I know Northeast Ohio has had enough, and I have definitely had enough. You see, attendance is a way of signaling respect, but in this case, absence is a way of signaling conscience. And I've chosen to go with my conscience on this one. So, no, I am not going to be there because this is an all hands on deck moment to rein in this president and let him know we will not stand for his lies, we will not stand for his name calling or his attacks. We will fight back and we will win.
Donald Trump is violating the law and Constitution. He is ignoring court orders. He has weaponized the Justice Department to go after his enemies. He is letting loose ICE troops in our streets that are getting people killed. I will not be attending the State of the Union. I've never missed one. I have always gone both to inaugurations and to States of the Union, but we cannot treat this as normal. This is not business as usual. I will not give him the audience he craves for the lies that he tells. I'll be outside the Capitol with Midas touch and move on for the people's State of the Union.
So what do you think? Will empty seats send a much-needed message to Trump, or is it something he will turn around to his favor on live TV? Please comment below with your thoughts. And speaking of live TV, will you be watching Trump, or will you tune into the counter-programming?
Move On and liberal media outlet Midas Touch will host the event and present an alternative vision for the country as Trump takes the podium. Former MSNBC anchors Joy Reid and Katie Phang will co-host the event. The National Mall rally gives House Democrats an alternative site they have been considering for a counter-program to the State of the Union.